In the meantime, going to follow some significant developments today in the ongoing legal fight over the Trump administration's attempt to end birthright citizenship. A federal judge in New Hampshire issued a preliminary injunction today, temporarily blocking President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship. The judge also granted class action status to a lawsuit seeking to protect babies who would be denied birthright citizenship by the administration. Joining me now is NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley. So this ruling comes, of course, just 2 weeks after the Supreme Court had a landmark decision that basically imposed new limits on the judiciary's ability to issue these nationwide injunctions. How is this going to play given that ruling that just came down?
Yeah, the thing that's so complicated about this case is I always imagine our audience is like, why do you keep talking about courts when I just want to find out if Trump's undoing the 14th Amendment?
Right.
It's still complicated, but basically what this judge issued is a nationwide injunction, even though the Supreme Court ruled against previous nationwide injunctions on birthright citizenship. And the reason it's different this time, and this judge thinks that he's not defying the court's order, is because this was a class action lawsuit. It was brought on behalf of future parents or potential parents who are on student visas inside the United States. The way the executive order was written was not just to apply to undocumented immigrants, but anyone who wasn't here on a permanent legal status, meaning if you were here as a student and had a child, that child would not be a U.S. citizen. So because those people exist across the country, it means that this judge's order could not just apply to New Hampshire, where he's based, but it has to apply across the country. So now the question is, when this goes back up to the Supreme Court, will they say, okay, in this case, because it was a class action suit, this judge, a district judge, can issue a nationwide injunction. So it has implications not just on how far district courts can go, but also potentially on birthright citizenship.
And you're right. Our viewers are probably just wondering, when is this question, the central question here, going to be answered?
And still not, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah. It seems like there's so much of this technical back and forth that's playing out between the lower courts and the high court. When is the high court just going to come out and say, this is what the 14th Amendment says and this is how it's applied?
It may take something like this coming all the way back up to them for them to really have a hearing on the merits, because so far it's just been about the reach of these orders. There is not a judge in America who has ruled that Trump's executive order on January 20th that said children born to people who are not permanently in this country are not citizens. No one has ruled that that is legal or can stand, but they have said that absent a nationwide injunction, in some places, it could start to go into effect. So complicated, we still don't have an answer. It could go into effect in some places temporarily if the Supreme Court decides that this decision today doesn't hold. And
could this be a potential roadmap for other plaintiffs, this class action route to try and have a nationwide remedy?
And not just on this issue, but on other issues. Republican, conservatives and liberals can take a look at this and say, is this now the workaround? If you want a nationwide injunction on an issue, you've got to find some class, like students, that exist all across the country.
Okay. All right, Julia Ainsley, thank you for reporting. Thanks. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.